Only 800 soldiers, no supply lines, no backup, no way back. But they crossed the mountains and brought down a kingdom. This is stories of strategy, learning Sun Tzu through legends.
In the long sweep of ancient Chinese history, few eras were as turbulent and legendary as the Three Kingdoms period. After the fall of the Han dynasty, the land fractured into three rival powers, Wei, Shu, and Wu. Warlords rose and fell, brilliant strategists plotted behind the scenes, and countless battles determined the fate of empires. By the year 263 AD, the endgame had begun. Shu Han, weakened and stretched thin, now faced a full-scale invasion from the northern Wei Empire. And in the cold shadows of late autumn, a seemingly impossible plan took shape. A plan that would bring down a kingdom and forever enter the annals of Chinese military history. This is the story of General Deng Ai and the daring mountain crossing that changed the course of the Three Kingdoms. At the time, Wei's main general, Zhong Hui, led a massive force to attack Jianghe Pass, a formidable mountain fortress guarded by Shu commander Jiang Wei. The battle reached a stalemate. Inside the Wei command tent, Zhong Hui frowned over the maps. Then a younger officer stepped forward.
General, a frontal attack will lead nowhere. Let me propose another way. Not through the gates, but around them, through Yinping,
Deng Ai said. Zhong Hui raised an eyebrow.
Yinping? That's a death trap. No one crosses it.
Precisely. That's why the enemy won't expect us there.
Deng Ai replied. The ancient Yinping Trail was no road at all. It wound through perilous peaks, dense forests, and treacherous rivers. A path so deadly even traders avoided it. But Deng Ai saw in this so-called death zone an opportunity for life. He handpicked 800 elite soldiers and set out with no baggage, no war chariots, and no heavy supplies. Their mission: cross the impassable mountains in complete silence and strike straight at the heart of Shu. Every step was a battle with nature. The troops climbed cliffs with bare hands, crossed torrents with ropes, and stabbed spears into rocks to hold their footing. Some slipped and fell. Others were injured, but no one turned back. A young soldier gritted his teeth and asked,
General, can we really make it?
Deng Ai was smiling.
As long as we draw breath, we'll make it.
After several brutal days and sleepless nights caked in mud and frozen from the cold, the men emerged from the mountains, alive. Before them lay a calm, unguarded countryside. They had done the impossible. Deng Ai wasted no time. He advanced on the city of Jiangyu. Inside, Shu General Ma Miao was drinking with guests when a soldier burst in.
Sir, refugees are approaching from the mountain. No, wait. They carry Wei banners.
Ma Miao's wine cup fell to the floor. His face went pale. Jiangyu surrendered without a fight. Soon after, Mianzhu and Guanghan fell one after another. Wei's army, undetected and unstoppable, now stood at the gates of Chengdu. Inside the capital, the last emperor of Shu, Liu Shan, had no choice. Dressed in full ceremonial robes, he walked out with his ministers and surrendered the imperial seal. And just like that, the Shu dynasty, founded 43 years earlier by Liu Bei, was no more. With just 800 men, Deng Ai had crossed the unthinkable, broken through the impossible, and shattered a kingdom in a single stroke. He proved that victory doesn't always lie on the front lines, but often on the roads no one dares to walk. This brilliant strike reshaped the fate of the Three Kingdoms and left behind a timeless lesson. The hardest paths often lead to the greatest victories. Sun Tzu said,
The difficulty of military maneuvers consists in turning the devious into the direct and misfortune into gain. Thus, to take a long and circuitous route, luring the enemy with bait, and arriving before him, is to master the art of maneuver.
In Deng Ai's campaign, he abandoned the obvious route and chose one deemed suicidal. Though he moved later, he arrived first, because he turned the enemy's blind spot into his breakthrough. This is the very meaning of turning the devious into the direct. Sun Tzu said,
When the whole army competes for advantage, it falls short. When forces are divided, baggage is lost. Speed is essential, but risky.
In Deng Ai's case, he didn't bring the entire army. Only 800 elite troops moving light and fast. Had he brought a full force, he would have lost speed, supplies, and the element of surprise. It was risky, but calculated. Sun Tzu said,
He who does not know terrain cannot maneuver. He who ignores local guides cannot seize advantage. Victory comes to those who master the devious and the direct.
In this campaign, Deng Ai relied on knowledge of geography and mountain paths unknown to the enemy. This allowed him to break through what Shu had considered a natural barrier. Sun Tzu said,
The energy of a unit may be stolen, the heart of a commander may be swayed. Strike when the enemy is weary. Use order to face disorder. This is control.
In the battle for Jiangyu and beyond, Deng Ai's troops were calm and disciplined while the Shu defenders panicked. Ma Miao surrendered without a fight. Other cities collapsed in fear. It was not a battle of blades, but of minds. Deng Ai's victory did not rely on sheer numbers, but on deep understanding of terrain, timing, and the minds of his enemies. He took the path no one dared to take. He turned the most dangerous road into the straightest route to success. As Sun Tzu wrote,
Turn the devious into the direct, turn misfortune into gain.
Deng Ai didn't just read this principle, he lived it. And he reminds us that in both war and life, the path to greatness often lies through the impossible.
This is China Tales. Subscribe for more stories of ancient wisdom and strategy.